Hey, good to see you.
Since I didn't get a chance to talk to you at Edward's funeral, do I get to know what brings you back to Port Charles?
I'll tell you everything. But first, I need you to do something for me.
Which is what?
Well, to begin with, you can't tell Anna.
Hello?
Any chance you can tear yourself away for an hour and have dinner with me?
Oh, I can't. I got so much work to do. I can't.
Well, I thought you would say that. You have to eat.
Oh,
And
honey.
besides, you know, in your line of work, you can't have barbecue sauce all over your fingers. So you're just gonna have to slow down, take time, tell me about all those men you have.
Wow. Okay. That was, like, super subtle. Mm-hmm. Just blatantly nosy.
Well, I'm on an agenda, yes, but I don't hide it. So, Robert's back, Duke's back, Luke is nowhere to be found. I suppose that's not a coincidence.
No, it isn't.
You've been married to 2 of them, and 3 of them you've been involved with. Have you figured out yet which one you want?
This sounds so vague. Do I feel the same way to you?
Of course you do. And my love for you is just the same. It hasn't changed. Has your love for me?
Something's changed. I don't know what it is. You feel different.
Hey, Lavery. Something wrong?
I can't tell Anne. I'm guessing this involves Duke.
You're half right.
What does that mean?
It involves the man who's stolen Duke Lavery's identity.
And who's that?
Faison?
Luke has gone to Turkey to investigate Duke. And he somehow got Robert involved to, to basically badger me, which he is doing so well. So he shows up at my suite at the Metro, which is no longer my suite now, but anyway, I'll tell you about that later. So he waltzes in as if he owns the place. And without so much as a howdy-do, he just starts going right into interrogating me about Duke, because apparently Luke hasn't managed to find any incriminating evidence in Turkey.
Well, that's good news, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you would think so. But see, now Robert's twisted that all around and said that this whole thing is a sort of cover story, and Duke is somehow now guilty of what? I'm not entirely sure.
Well, Anna, think about it. You were married to Robert before and after Duke. And he's gonna be jealous.
Whose side are you on?
Just because you had a little bit of a fight doesn't mean that he doesn't
Doesn't care about me, I know. He's always telling me that, but he just has a very grating way of showing it.
And Duke, he's easier to get along with, and I know how much he means to you.
Look, you won't tell Robert this, but, I'm a little bit confused about Duke. You know, I went round to his apartment, and, things got a little bit intense.
You slept with him?
No, but it was definitely headed in that direction.
Well, it's been a long time since you've been with Duke, but it's not like you haven't been there with him before.
No, I know, of course not. Yeah, I mean, obviously, but it just didn't feel right. You know, there was something about Duke there's just something different.
John Zakara, Lulu's business partner.
Oh, of course. I just haven't had the chance to meet you.
Yeah, I've been busy.
It's a first-rate establishment. How did it start?
Everything all right? Are you angry at something or someone?
Oh, myself.
Huh.
I've been trying to quit smoking. It's such a filthy habit, but I'm failing miserably. Please don't tell anyone about this, especially not Anna.
None of my business. See, the club, that's my baby. And if you're gonna work for me, we gotta have a little chat.
I believe that Lavery is alive. What I believe is that he's being impersonated by Faison in order to get to Anna.
I don't suppose you have anything like proof, Robert.
Psychic visions.
You're psychic now.
No, not me. But I ran into this rather charming young lady named Olivia Falconeri.
Oh, Robert, I know you. You know, you never put faith in hocus pocus.
Humor me here. Olivia turns up to the Haunted Star. She runs into Lavery. She turns around, looks at him, but for a moment sees another man.
Faison.
Yeah, but Olivia didn't know that. She'd never met the guy. So she sits down with Elizabeth and describes him, and Elizabeth is able to draw this person.
You mean like a police sketch?
Yeah, she's quite talented. I recognized this guy right away. Now, if I'm right, and Faison is impersonating Duke, then Anna's in a lot of trouble.
It's almost as if Duke has been frozen in time. You know, he's still as charming as ever, and we danced the tango. He didn't miss a step. He has perfect recall of just about every single thing we ever went through. Perfect memory. But then, in other ways, he's...
Such as what?
When Duke kisses me, it just doesn't feel the way I thought it would.
Okay, I assume that you're satisfied with my work.
Oh, your work's fine. I'm more concerned with, what does a guy like you, with your experience, you know, running your own nightclub, what are you doing mixing drinks and hustling for tips?
I trust you know my story.
Mm-hmm.
I've been incarcerated, to put it politely, for a couple of decades. By the time I got back, everything had changed. I've taken a job until I can get on my feet.
That's all there is to it.
What else would there be?
Maybe you working at my bar has something to do with the person you once were.
Copy of that police report where Faison was killed.
Robert, I can't help you. I don't have access. You know, I'm not on the force.
Come on, you were police commissioner for longer than I was. I mean, half the force there probably owed their life to you. I mean, look, if I go in there and start to pat around, it'll be pure speculation. Anna's going to find out about it.
Sounds like Anna doesn't buy your theory.
I never really got to give her the whole theory. After I told her that I thought Lavery was bogus, she nearly had a heart attack.
Come on, Robert, you and Anna always fight.
That's not quite true. We always have each other's backs, and that's what this is all about. And look, if Anna is playing into Faison's hands here, after...
What this is all about, Robert? With everything Faison took from you, you want one last crack at him.
Convince me he's dead. Get me that report.
Making my business to know who works for me. So yes, I know that the club you ran used to launder money.
Well, that's a matter of public record. But it's also a matter of public record. I was completely legitimate by the time I left Port Charles.
Is anybody ever completely legit?
You tell me. I know you're the heir apparent to the Zakharov crime family and also to the Cerritos.
How do you know so much about my background? More importantly, why do you care?
Commissioner Devane? Yeah. Okay, I'll be right there. Gotta go see the desk sergeant.
Right, well, we're not finished with this conversation.
Oh, sorry. Wow. My fault. Wow, what are you doing here? That's too funny. We were just talking about you. What are you doing with César Faison's file?
Difficult to leave that life, especially when your own family's involved. And it's hard to resist the temptation to be drawn back in.
Not when you've seen the downside.
No, there's certainly the price to pay for everything.
I'm out of that life. On to a completely different one. And I run a clean business. I intend to keep it that way.
Well, then we agree.
You working tonight?
I'll be in later. I look forward to getting to know you better, Johnny. You and I have a lot in common.
We'll see.
I thought you vowed never to work here again.
I don't think I took it that far.
Well, you're a civilian, walking the halls of the police station with Faison's file. What's up?
Well, you know, when Jerry Jacks put the pathogen in the water, I just wanted to do something to help, so I had a lot of clerks pull every file with a similar MO, and, well, Faison was at the top of the list.
Oh, yeah. He certainly had an extensive bag of tricks, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it's been in my apartment all this time. I was finally returning it.
Okay. I'll make sure the filing clerk buries that, because I'd just as soon never see that file again.
Library.
Scorpio. Anna told me you'd return.
She tell you why?
Well, I assume Spencer called in the cavalry. He couldn't turn Anna against me, so he thought you'd come here and that you could, but clearly he was mistaken.
Too soon to tell.
No. All you've succeeded in doing is making Hannah angry, pushing her closer to me. I should thank you.
I don't worry too much about angry Anna. We've been beating up on each other for decades. But you see, in the end, she always trusts me. That should make you feel a little threatened.
Anna chose me, Robert. Not you.
So it would seem. I guess there can be no other love other than that which Anna hath for Duke Lavery. You get it?
I can save you some time. They never found Faison's remains, only boat wreckage. There's a record of all the vessels on the water that night. They searched them all. No sign of Faison.
Yeah, I didn't think there would be. This is the way this guy works. I know Faison. It's all about mind games. It's all about using Robin's death, Lavery's face. It all adds up. Unfortunately, she's grieving too hard to see it.
You're grieving too, Robert.
You think because I couldn't save my daughter, maybe I'll save the mother? That all this danger is just in my mind?
I think you're the best at what you do. And if you say Faison is posing as Duke, I believe you.
Thanks, bro. Can always trust you. And I appreciate the risk you took here.
Keep it. I made a copy. Just destroy it when you're done.
Thank you. Did you run into Anna at the station?
Yeah, I bumped into her with the file, but I covered.
How'd she look?
Like she's got a lot on her mind. Maybe you got through to her after all?
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of proof. But I think I know who can help me get it.
Thank you so much for dinner, because if you hadn't done that, I'd have just had trail mix from the vending machine.
Yeah, well, some things never change. You
Right.
used to live on vending machine snacks, right?
Yeah.
Which is why you need your friends to save you from yourself.
And the next time we just talk about you, all right? Not me.
Well, I'm happy.
Good.
And that's all I want for you. And if Duke's the one, although, is he so different that maybe you just don't want him anymore?
Well, I wouldn't say that. You know, maybe I just have to take things slowly. Still, there's something that's, you know.
What? Speak of the devil.
Oh, hi.
I was just leaving. She's all yours.
Hello, goodbye.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with what?
Oh, just all this paperwork, you know. Got a lot of
well.
stuff to do.
When you're overworked, you're even lovelier.
Have you been smoking?
You caught me. I did just have a cigarette.
That's weird. I don't remember Duke ever smoked. I mean, I don't remember that you ever smoked.
I didn't ever smoke. I started smoking in Turkey. It was one of the few pleasures that we had as an inmate. It's very bad for me, I know that. Not good for my health. I'm trying to quit. You're not too disappointed, are you?
No. No, I understand.
But
It's just that this...
what?
Do you have any more surprises for me?
I certainly hope so.
You know what I mean.
Things have changed, Anna. That's only normal. But the important things, they're still the same, and that is all that matters.
Are you going to be able to help me on this? I see. So I guess I'm going to owe you big time. Bye.
Look, I respect that you want to take things slowly, but is it possible for me to see you this evening? There's something I'd like to discuss. It's important. Thank you.
Good. The man who wants to be known as Lavery is hard at work. Listen, thank you for letting me tag along.
Yeah, well, Lulu and Dante said they had something important to discuss, but neither one of them have made an appearance, so, I guess I have time to give this a try.
No pressure. Just tell me if you get a flash. So, Lavery, you open for business?
Good evening, Miss Falconeri. It's good to see you again. Can I get anything for you?
I'm not getting anything.
What about you, Scorpio?
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there anything that I can get you?
I was about to order a vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred.
How original.
He's a guest of the house.
Oh, please. Look,
No, the only reason you're here is because my dad sent you, so drinks are on the house.
Oh.
Hey, Ma. Mom. Hello. Hi.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm just curious why the urgent summons. You didn't give me a clue on the phone.
Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, I'm here right now, so don't leave me hanging.
Well, why don't we just go sit at the table over there?
Lead the way.
Anything?
I looked at Duke, and I saw Duke. I don't know why I saw that other guy. I got no idea if I'm ever going to see him again.
Well, it's a good thing that you saw Faison once. Now I gotta find someone who can explain to me why.
Yeah, and you are?
Duke Lavery.
Name sounds familiar. I know some of your associates.
Well, that was from a long time ago. I just returned to Port Charles recently. I heard about your associate, Jason Morgan, that he got shot. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Do you have any leads on the shooter?
No, we're still working on it.
Well, good. I'm sure you'll get your man very soon. So, how's the martini?
Actually, it's not dry enough.
Well, I'd forgotten. You're quite the aficionado, aren't you?
So, what's this shooting you're talking about?
Well, Jason Morgan. Oh, actually, I believe he was a quartermain.
Yeah, I know who Morgan is.
Was. He got shot. Fell into the harbor.
What do you care?
I used to be close to the quartermains, and I was being solicitous.
You know, you never impressed me as a person who cared much for law and order. Makes me quite nostalgic to be back. Had a good run as police commissioner. I took out a lot of garbage.
Must be a great comfort to you to relive your glory days.
I've learned from the past it's a mistake to be there.
Yeah, I agree. That's why Anna and I are looking forward to a future.
That should be quite enlightening to see how that works out.
You might as well if you're drinking in the house.
Some other time.
Oh, don't leave on my account.
Actually, I am.
Sonny. Hi.
Anna, thank you for coming.
Yes, you said it was important.
There's something that you need to know.
Still the same rancid ambiance. Come out! Come out! Wherever you are.
Confession to me.
Confession?
About who I really am.
What do you mean? Who are you?
Mrs. C! Or do you prefer good old Helena?
Robert Scorpio.
You remembered. And here's me thinking that all that mileage might have taken its toll.
Oh, how could I forget your misshapen countenance?
Yeah, but a shameless flirt, eh?
What have you done with my grandson?
Nothing. Prince Nicholas is exactly where he wants to be. Far from you.
I see. So you persuaded my darling Nicholas to help you lure me here.
Oh, persuade is such a violent word. I asked, he accepted. Conditional upon the fact that I could never reveal his location. Face it, sweetie. Nick never wants to see you again.
So he claims. Why do you want to see me, Mr. Scorpio?
Well, I'm a sucker for high risk.
You and Luke Spencer are equally responsible for the ruin of my late husband, Mikos. But you never had to pay. An oversight of mine.
And I thought you loved the single life. I mean, surfing all those sleazy internet dating sites? Come on.
You've managed to stay off my radar for decades. Now, there's only one reason why you would risk your life to face me. You want something.
Are you trying to tell me?
Well, you made it very clear to me that you need time to consider whether we should proceed.
Well, that makes it sound like an ultimatum. That's...
No, Anna, I have been rushing you. I'm very glad that you said something.
I was angry at Robert. You know, he comes barging in, making all these judgment calls, and I came running to you, and I didn't really think about how you might interpret that.
You don't think I'd ever complain about you running to me, do you?
I want to move forward, I do. But I don't see what is wrong with us taking our time and getting to know each other again.
No, you're right. I've thought about everything that you said, and you're absolutely right. I've changed. I'm not the man that you fell in love with 20 years ago. I couldn't see that, but you could.
Well, I've changed too, obviously. We've both been through so
I know.
much.
Everything you've been through, you've changed. I accept that. But Anna, I've been in prison for 20 years. I've changed so much. I don't laugh as easily. I don't smile as much as I used to. I mean, I smoke cigarettes, yes, but I'm trying to quit that. I mean, as soon as possible. I hate it, I swear.
I hope you do.
But I've also become very impatient, especially when you hold me at arm's length.
That's not my intention.
I realize that. I know you want time, but from where I am after everything, it just seems very unjust to me.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm not blaming you. Don't misunderstand me. I blame all the circumstances that kept us apart for so long. But Anna, the only thing I had to sustain me was thinking about you. The only thing that kept me going was dreaming about you, dreaming about being back with you. So you can't really blame me for wanting to be with you, wanting to have you back in my life and in my bed.
I guess it is unfair. All of that, but I really need you to respect my feelings. I do.
Anna, I do respect your feelings.
Are you sure? Because, Duke, if we don't move slowly, we're not going to be able to have the relationship that you want at all.
What delicious irony. Having you here on your knees begging for help from the woman whose husband you murdered.
I'd hardly call it begging, and I'd have been happy to put a bullet in Mikos's head.
You have my family's blood on your hands, and soon I'll have your blood on...
I know, I done you wrong. I mean, you hate my name to heaven and hell. You want to crush my bones to dust. I got it.
That was rude.
You're right. And I apologize. Who am I to interrupt a good revenge rant? But you want me dead, all right. Why don't we open negotiations? Would you like a seat?
Very well. If you want to dispense with the usual pleasantries.
You call naked threats pleasantries?
You're obviously pressed for time, so out with it. What do you want?
I need some information about a former associate of yours, Faison.
I'm sorry, Anna. If you think I'm pressuring you, then I've changed more than I realized.
God, now you're doing everything you can not to pressure me.
Oh, good. You noticed that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I do.
The more I think about it, and I thought about everything you said, you're right. We should take it slowly. We need to take some time. We need to relearn how to be together.
Yeah.
I mean, we've waited long enough. Why can't we wait just a little bit longer? I just don't want to run the risk of losing you.
There's no risk.
And I don't want to sound pushy.
You, pushy.
We belong together. You and I. I know that in my heart and in my soul. And if not today, and if not tomorrow, then sometime soon, we're going to be together. Without end.
That's very poetic. Very Scottish.
Good. Because I have a plan.
You have a plan?
To win you back.
Oh, there isn't any competition.
Of course there is, Anna. There's competition. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with the man you fell in love with 20 years ago. And if I remember correctly, he was a pretty crafty bastard.
Yeah, he was.
He still is. I mean, I think I might have to have a word with him and appropriate some of the old me tactics.
Such as?
Such as, let's get out of here. Let's leave Port Charles.
Oh, I can't leave. I've got so much work.
I did. No, I'm only talking about a few days.
I know I bury myself in my job.
I wouldn't interfere with that, Anna. But think about how much fun you had the last time you took a break on Halloween.
Oh, God, that's the last time I took a break? Really?
You need a holiday. Come away with me, just you and I. Let's go somewhere isolated, away from everything and everyone.
Why are you showing me this? What could you possibly want to know about Faison now? He's been dead for ages.
Has he?
He went up in flames when his boat exploded on the lake.
You know, funny thing. I was involved in a similar situation. Terrible explosion out in the open ocean. On board, I was with Anna, Faison, myself, all on open deck. We should never have survived. But we did.
And you think that Faison survived again?
With your help.
And if I were involved in this resurrection, why would I tell you? What's in this for me?
Let's make a deal. What's it going to take for you to tell me what I need to know?
A simple quid pro quo. If you want to know what I know about Faison, you'll tell me why you need this information so badly.
Okay. Settle in. It's a bumpy ride and a twisted tale.
I thought we just agreed to take things slow. How is going away on a vacation together slow?
Separate rooms. That's pretty slow.
Yeah, separate rooms. Where?
In the mountains. I mean, it's pretty close by. An isolated cottage. Bottom of a mountain. You and I. Skiing together. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I remember lounging in front of the fire with you.
It's not so far away. The weather forecast says it's gonna snow. You can have all the firewood that you want. And we can ski in Sylvan Mountain.
Silver Mountain? We always used to go to Hurley Mountain. Don't you remember?
Faison is back in Port Charles, passing himself off as Lavery, and so far it seems to be working.
Now, let me see if I understand you correctly. Somehow, Faison cheated death, and then he spent the ensuing years altering his appearance so that he could assume the identity of Anna Devane's ex-husband.
Well, one of them. I mean, she's had a few, myself included there.
And you uncovered Faison's deception because a woman with LSD-induced psychic powers told you.
Basically.
I have one question. Where are the cameras?
Cameras?
No, the hidden cameras. I assume that this is for some tacky reality show, the real Cassadines of Spoon Island.
Hey, I realize this kind of strains credulity a little.
Strains? Credulity was annihilated even before you got to the LSD, and that was my favorite part.
But this
Do you seriously expect me to believe this fiction?
But this is real.
No, science fiction.
This from the woman who tried to freeze the world with a diamond-powered weather machine?
Not me. Mikos. May he rest in peace. No, that was the 80s. And this is 2012.
I don't care what year it is. Lavery is Faison, and I found one of his trademark cigarillos to prove it.
You did? Well, why didn't you tell me? Now I believe you. I'm sorry. I really thought I could get through that with a straight face.
So, I guess you're not going to tell me what I need to know.
Oh, what is there to tell? Quite clearly, your years as a spy have taken their toll. But, oh, Mr. Scorpio, you're either declining into dementia or you're delusional with jealousy over your ex-wife.
We always went skiing on Hurley Mountain because you thought Sylvan had too many ski bunnies. They were your words.
Of course. I remember now. How could I have made such a mistake?
Well, I guess the mountains are next to each other.
Yeah. Well, it's all the more reason why I should refresh my memory, but I don't want to go there alone. Will you come with me?
I'm telling you, Faison is back.
No, he's not. He's dead.
How can you be so certain?
Because if he were still alive, I would have found him a long time ago, and I would have killed him myself for failing me so thoroughly. No, you just want him back.
Why would I want that?
Because it's the only way you can win. When you're standing next to a leftover from the Cold War with a Dutch boy haircut, you don't look so bad.
Hey, flattery's not going to get you anywhere this time, all right?
Well, when you're standing next to a handsome Scotsman, will Anna even see you? No, you have to accept that you have lost this battle because between you and Duke, there's no contest.
I'd like to get away, of course, but I've just got so many open cases and the mayor's breathing down my neck.
Lucky mayor.
So can I think about it?
Mountain isn't gonna go anywhere.
Well, I must. I've got a lot of work tomorrow.
See you soon.
Yeah, count on it, yeah.
Already pressed it.
Hi. You staying here?
Well, yeah, Luke said I could use the suite. His room, not yours.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not my room anymore. Feel free. After you.
Ladies first.
Well, you coming in?
Yeah, I'll get the next one. Anna.
What is it? What?
Doesn't matter.
It's me. I have a bit of news for you concerning a mutual acquaintance, Robert Scorpio. I'm afraid he's on to you.
What do you mean?
He suspects that Duke Lavery and Faison are one and the same.
I see.
Don't say I never did anything for you.
Mind if I come in?
Sure. I don't have a lot of time.
That's okay. This will just take a minute.
Okay.
Luke told me if I needed some police assistance, you'd be the guy to come to.
What about your ex-wife?
I can't go to her without proof.
I don't think I want to know the answer, but proof of what?
That a guy who you think is Duke Lavery is in effect an ex-spy by the name of Faison.
I've been doing some research online.
Oh, yeah? For what?
Hurley Mountain. Well, you should see it, Anna. Absolutely nothing's changed. It's like stepping back in a time machine.
No Wi-Fi, no cable?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the stone fireplace and the old antique rocking chair that you liked so much.
No, that sounds appealing.
Someone's at my door.
You expecting someone?
Only the plumber. I have to fix a leak.
Guess maybe you ought to deal with that leak. I don't want your apartment flooding on my account.
No. Not until you give me an answer. The manager's only going to hold the cabin until tonight.
Well, then I'll let you know at the end of the day. I promise. Okay, my breakfast date is here, so I got...
Date? I'm not so sure that I like the sound of that.
Well, too bad. Bye.
Hi.
Hey, hi.
Thanks for meeting me.
Sure, what can I do for you?
Hire me?
I flew out as soon as I could make arrangements. Is it true?
Scorpio's here. He suspects who I really am. He confided in an old associate of mine, Helena Cassadine. And she was kind enough to fill me in. So you tell me, plumber, are you responsible for the leak?
I haven't revealed your true identity to anyone.
Well, I wonder how Scorpio got the information. More importantly, I wonder what he's going to do with it.
With no evidence to prove his theory, perhaps Scorpio will give up.
He won't give up. He is relentless. There's only one way to deal with him.
Going to kill him? Is that wise?
Not for me. Well, that's why you are here. I shall be far away with the perfect alibi.
I know Luke was suspicious of Lavery,
With good reason, too.
but I still don't get how this Faison guy fits into the mix.
Let me cut to the chase. Faison is obsessed with Anna. Spent most of his life stalking her. 10 years ago, we got a report that he was dead, but in effect, he's really been laying low and assuming Lavery's identity.
So Luke sent you here to warn Anna?
Pretty much. But she's not going to go for anything without proof, and, well, that's where you come in.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
It's simple. You've got to get Lavery to come into the station.
On what grounds?
Well, no charges. Just that you want to talk about police matter.
Well, I'm going to have to be more specific than that.
Lavery was once part of a criminal syndicate in Port Charles. Tell him, ask him. You want to use his expertise. Get him in there, get him in the interrogation room. I'll be behind the mirror. Let him loosen up a little bit. Talk about the bad old days, and then throw in a question about Faison.
What kind of question?
Well, that he was crossing through Turkey at the time that Duke was there.
Okay, and then what? We watch him, see how he reacts.
What do you say?
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
The lawyer says I need money to fight for custody of my son. I need to show a stable income. I need a job, Anna.
Oh, honey, but wouldn't it be better in Landview? I mean, why Port Charles? You'd be closer to your son in Landview.
Yes. There's a restraining order barring me from any contact.
It's a bit excessive.
Yeah. I keep my distance because I know if I was in Landview, I would violate it.
Okay.
And if I go back in the Landview Police Department, there's a pretty good chance Bo loses his job as commissioner.
All right, then I guess it's Port Charles.
Yeah, you know, I'm living out of a suitcase, but I feel somewhat grounded here. I know some people and, you know, anything that makes me look more stable.
Stable dad.
Stable dad. I need to work.
I don't really have anything to offer you. I mean, like, not a good position that's up to your expertise, or certainly not your pay grade.
You know, I don't need much. Make me an offer.
I just lost Detective Padilla. She went to New York City. So Dante needs a partner. I mean, it's not like task force or anything. It is what it is.
That's okay. You know, Dante's a good cop. He's good people.
And what about working with me? You know, we've had a different kind of relationship, mentor, whatever. I'd be your boss.
Oh, I knew there was a catch. I think I'd be okay with that.
Great, John. That's... When do you want to start?
How about now?
Detective McBain, welcome aboard.
So you want me to drag Lavery down to the station under the commissioner's nose and question him? If this guy's this ex-spy, like you say he is, wouldn't he be able to beat an interrogation?
Let's forget the questioning. Let's try another angle. Plastic surgery. We need to get him in front of an HD camera or a scanner.
Well, I don't have those kinds of resources. Even if I did, I wouldn't be able to justify using them.
I need something. Anything right now.
Of course.
Surgery.
There's no proof.
Not with photographs. There's got to be a record, a document somewhere. And maybe he's got that on him. Can you get a warrant to search his apartment?
A warrant? Don't you think that's going to tip him off?
Detective, I'm running out of options here.
Look, I gotta go meet my wife. I promise you I will help you to the best of my ability, within reason.
Define within reason.
Now, please just don't do anything on your own.
I don't see that I can at the moment.
Look, I've been at the PCPD a while now, and I've heard your name mentioned a lot. Always with respect. You say that Lavery is Faison, I believe you. Just wait till I get back from the hospital. Stay here. When I do, we'll talk.
You don't know who Scorpio has confided in. If something happens to him, they might tell the police.
Which would lead Anna straight to me.
You can't risk it.
No, I know Scorpio. He won't give up his theory that Duke Lavery and Faison are the same person. I have to find a way to neutralize him.
Sorry, Detective. Faison's 6 city blocks ahead of me. And it's about time I caught up.
I'm gonna go see Anna and find out how much she knows.
Do you want me to accompany you?
No. If she sees you, she'll recognize you from the clinic. You stay here.
Of course. Let me know if you need anything.
Well, now that you come to mention it, Frau Plummer, the WC isn't flushing properly. Why don't you go take a look at that?
Where do you want me to start?
The Jason Morgan case. Yeah, the ME says that the accountant, Bernie Abrams, was shot with 2 different guns. We recovered one at the scene. It had Scully's prints all over it.
You looking for the second shooter?
Yep, I think a good place to start is find out who Scully was working for.
Hello, Anna.
Oh, what a surprise.
Well, a good one, I hope.
Yes, of course. This is John McLean.
Oh, Duke Lavery.
Pleasure.
He's an old friend of mine, very talented detective. He's going to be joining the force, and he's got his first assignment, looking for the second shooter in the Morgan case.
Oh, well, if you're as good as Anna says you are, then I'm sure you're going to find him.
I just spoke to you on the phone. I didn't expect to see you.
Oh, I had an errand in the neighborhood. I thought I'd come by and see if I could catch you and ask you if you have an answer for me.
What happened to this promise of being patient?
Oh, don't be cross with me.
No, I'm not being
Well, I
cross.
just get carried away. I'm kind of really looking forward to getting away with you. You know, escaping our jobs and our well-meaning but sometimes intrusive friends. And spending time together. Like learning our differences and perhaps seeing where we're still the same.
Right. Well, it sounds tempting. I've been giving it some thought, and it would be nice, I guess, to get away together.
Do I have an answer?
Very eager about this ski trip, aren't you?
Well, it would be fun. I mean, when was the last time you had fun, Commissioner?
I don't know.
Oh, excuse me. Yes?
You have a problem. Scorpio just broke in.
I see.
I managed to get out before he saw me, but he's still in your apartment.
Thank you very much for calling me, Mr. Bronowitz. But don't worry, I'll handle it from here.
You'll take care of it.
Yes. You stay out of the way, for your own safety.
Is something wrong?
Well, that was my neighbor. He thinks somebody has broken into my apartment. I don't know. What should I do? Should I call the police?
I am the police.
Sometimes I forget.
Well, let's go to your apartment. Come on. Okay, no heroes, right? You just stay behind me. Door's open.
No, I definitely closed it and locked it. Perhaps Abramowitz is right.
Police! Freeze! Seriously? Breaking and entering?
Well, I got my reasons.
Yeah, well, you don't have a warrant, do you?
Well, that's in the car.
You don't think I'm gonna arrest you?
Just calm down. If this is distressing you, Anna, I don't have to press charges.
Oh, shut up, you phony bastard. Can't you see how this guy's playing you?
You never change, do you, Robert? You're just so supremely arrogant. Robert Scorpio doesn't have to have a warrant, a badge, anything. He can just barge in wherever he wants to, trying to dictate my life. I'm sick of it.
I'm trying to save your bloody life. Now this here is not Duke Lavery. This is Faison.
Is wrong with you? How can you even say that man's name?
I can say it because he's standing right there. That. Look at him. That's Faison.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah, it is insane. You know, it also happens to be the truth.
I don't even know how to respond to this.
Do yourself a favor and don't bother. Stop making this woman's life a misery and just tell her who you really are.
Hi. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. The now rich and still formidable Alice let me in.
All right, so let's hear it. Am I heading to prison?
Faison is dead. He's been dead for years, Robert.
That's what we all thought about this guy. But think about this. There were 2 explosions. We all survived one of them.
Yeah, barely. It took me years to recover.
Faison survived the Port Charles explosion, then spent the rest of the time assuming Lavery's identity.
You can't be serious about this.
I've never been more serious in my life. Look, I didn't plan on bringing this to you yet until I had proof without a doubt. That's why I'm here.
Illegally.
I'm getting evidence.
You bring all this to me. You invoke a man who nearly destroyed our lives. He took us away from Robin when she needed us. And you don't have anything to back it up?
I have plenty to back it up. And I can prove that this man is Faison.
The DA for a long time.
Thank you. Well, it was quite the list of charges we had to trudge through.
And?
It helps that most of your key witnesses are now deceased. For instance, your father, whom you almost killed.
Yeah, I know, I was there.
Your brother,
We don't
who
know if Jason's gone yet.
is presumably dead.
So, were you able to get the attempted murder charges dropped?
It's a work in progress. But nothing I am not able to handle. The kidnapping charges, however, that's quite the different story.
Hey, look, I'm the one he kidnapped. What if I don't testify?
Wait a second. Michael, you'd be willing to do that for me?
If I don't testify, they don't have a case, do they?
Except you weren't the only victim. AJ conspired with Faith Roscoe to also take Morgan and Christina. And I will bet every shoe in my closet that Sonny and Alexis and Carly have neither forgiven nor forgotten.
Yeah, the DA doesn't want to go to trial. See, they have to put me on the stand. And I'm the only one old enough to testify about the kidnapping because Morgan and Christina were too young. So can we use that as leverage for some kind of a deal?
Our best option is to give the DA something that they really want in exchange.
My freedom. For what?
For someone who's a bigger criminal than you could ever hope to be.
You're not going to entertain this lunacy.
You getting nervous?
Oh, what is the proof that you've got, Robert?
I've got an eyewitness account. One, Olivia Falconeri.
Oh, that's the woman who couldn't stop staring at me the other night.
She saw you at the Haunted Star, sporting Faison's face.
That's absurd.
She was injected with LSD. She's been hallucinating.
Oh, then talk to one of your own detectives.
Yeah, well, Dante is her son.
Yeah, and he'll back me up. Her visions are absolutely reliable, including this one.
She doesn't even know what Faison looks like.
True. And she was unsettled by the whole thing, so she sat down and had to talk to Lulu.
Who shockingly mentioned it to you. What a blatant setup this is.
I had Olivia talk to Elizabeth Weber, describe this face perfectly, and she sketched it.
She's not a professional sketch artist.
Close enough. This is the face that Olivia described. Now tell me you don't recognize that person.
Pretty much spend the rest of my life in prison or turn rat.
Well, what do I have to do? I have to either provide evidence or offer information or testimony or something to the DA about someone who's a better get than I am.
AJ's been in hiding for years. Who would even know anymore?
May I speak freely in present company?
I have no secrets in front of my son.
When your father was among the living, he was, how shall I put this tactfully?
A shady, irresponsible criminal.
Yes, what he said, exactly. But by no means the worst, which is good for us. Because if we hope to escape a life sentence, we're going to need some heavy leverage.
Someone worse than AJ.
Way worse. Someone whose crimes are so heinous, they make your father's pale in comparison.
This is who Olivia saw. This man with Faison's face.
Well, Elizabeth knew him, so maybe she just did it subconsciously.
No, I was there. Elizabeth followed Olivia's instructions to the letter. There was no prompting.
Are you sure there was no prompting? After all, Faison's always been your obsession.
Anna was Faison's obsession. Your obsession.
Just get on with it, Robert.
When Olivia saw Faison, he was smoking one of those signature cigarillas of his. Well, when I saw Duke the other night, this is what he left behind. You should quit. I mean, this really will kill you.
I thought you said you smoked cigarettes.
So?
It's not a cigarette.
Oh my God, Anna. You're not actually believing this, are you? You think I am Faison?
I got someone.
Really?
Yeah. This guy's, he makes me look like a saint.
Well, that remains to be seen. And of course, I will need details and corroborating evidence.
Who is he? His name's Faison.
Start at the beginning.
When I left Port Charles, I was in real bad shape. I had a broken back and a bunch of other injuries. My mom put me in a clinic in Switzerland. I stayed there for almost a year.
I'm sorry, my fault. Speed it up.
Okay. When I got better, I would start to walk around, you know, on the hallway floor. And so one day I'm walking around and I get lost. I wind up in this restricted area, but I see my doctor, so I figure, okay, I'm gonna go over and just ask her directions. But she's talking to this guy. And I don't know, there was something about his voice. It resonated with me, like I recognized it. And so I decided to kind of hold back and see who he was. And when I did, it was Faison. And I couldn't believe it.
You are absolutely positive.
Yeah, he was wearing the same scrubs that they gave us all to wear, but he is a really distinct looking guy. Trust me, it was him.
Did he see you?
No.
And we are the only two people that you have told this to.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the police, but it would have meant that I would have had to turn myself in. Okay, what do you want to hear? I was selfish. I know how dangerous the guy is.
So if this Faison guy is as wanted as you say he is, he could be your ticket to freedom.
Faison is dead and gone, Anna.
Well, his body was never found.
Yeah, but then how do we make the jump to he stole my face?
Duke's face.
No, I'm not making any jumps. I'm just stating a fact.
Well, then allow me to play. The fact is, he's coming between you and I again. The same thing that he's always done. Take a look at me. Do I look like Faison?
You've still got access to all those contacts, all those good plastic surgeons.
So? I mean, if what you say is true, to what end?
To get Anna. She hated you, but she loved Lavery, so you arranged to take his place. And it wasn't a bad plan. You almost got away with it up until now. Tell him, Anna.
As lovely as it might be to hand the authorities Faison's head on a silver platter, we're going to need the documentation to back it up. How many years ago was this?
Okay, it was a while ago, but he was still a patient when I left.
Yes, but it's unlikely that he'd be there now.
There's something else too. He had a relationship with my doctor.
A romantic relationship?
No, it wasn't like that. It was like more like a business relationship. And he wasn't very nice to her.
I don't think Faison was nice to anyone.
If AJ turns Faison in, would it be enough to get his charges dropped?
Provided that the authorities believe AJ's story, which, considering that it's you, is going to be rather a hard sell. Unless... Do you have proof that you saw Faison alive?
As a matter of fact, I do.
What is next? I'll get stalking. I'll get paranoia. We've got breaking and entering. We've got all these baseless theories that you keep...
Not baseless.
Okay, so you've got proof. What proof do you have? You found a cigarillo on the pier. You got the word of some drug-addled woman. Lock me up. What's the matter? You don't have a badge anymore?
You know, you're right. This could be a good time to bring the agency in. Or perhaps you'd prefer Interpol.
Don't embarrass yourself, Robert.
Do you agree that this is madness?
Anna, please, you got to trust me on this one.
I miss Robin too. I know. I understand the desperate search to find something, anything to hold on to. But resurrecting a man that we both despise is not going to bring our daughter back.
I'm not resurrecting him. He's standing right here.
Stop it. Do you know how that sounds? Do you know?
Anna, you've been compromised. He's messing with your mind. Please. Please support me on this.
I can't do this. I can't. I'm sorry, Robert. This is Commissioner Devane. I want to report B&E.
Anna, you got to trust me here. Your safety, it depends on it.
I'm sorry, Robert. Just take him away, can you?
The guy you're trusting. The guy you're trusting is Faison.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
My mother gave me this untraceable cell so that we could communicate. It's one of the few things I managed not to lose.
You managed to secretly snap a photo of Faison.
Yeah. Well after when he was supposed to have died. Now please tell me that's going to be enough for the DA.
You have exposed an international criminal. You have proven that he is alive and still at large. You offer the authorities the ability to apprehend Faison, and those kidnapping charges are going to disappear faster than you can say Fashion Week.
That couldn't have been easy for you.
Yeah, it had to happen.
Well, you know, grief is such a terrible thing. I think Robert may need a psychiatrist more than he needs a lawyer.
I think you prefer to spend 20 years in a Turkish prison.
Thank you.
You already said that.
It's worth repeating. I mean, it means so much to me that you believe in me.